Hey, what's up, guys? This is Michael Cerda, CAMEone, and you're watching the Creative Series. I was always a fan of like hip hop and rap and all that, but that interest of how they made it started when I was 16 or 17. I had a friend named Chubbs who introduced me to like that side of making music because all of his friends made like reggaeton music, and I got introduced to FL Studio, and that obsession just took off from that point on. The one that stands out the most is Dilla because I was a fan of his work before I even know who he was. With a Tribe Called Quest and all the other people that he made beats for, it wasn't until I think I heard Rough Draft, one of his albums, that it really like completely blew my mind as far as what he's capable of doing. And I think I fell in love with the instrumental version of the album more than the vocal version because I heard the instrumental version first. I thought it was just an instrumental version or like an album that was just beats. Yeah. It wasn't until I heard the vocal version where I was like, okay, this is just the beat version. There's a whole nother thing that this is the original. But I remember playing that instrumental album over and over again, like beats like Make 'Em Envy. I don't even know how the hell or where he got that sample. The way he chopped stuff, it was hard for me to like dissect it, which is why I loved it so much. It's so mysterious to me, and the swing and the way he did his drums, like there was just so much in there that I really wanted to be him. I wanted to make beats just like him. Yeah. I just couldn't figure it out. I get inspiration from everything, man. It could be I get that huge sense to want to make music when I'm away from my desk, from all my musical things. Like when I'm at a bar hanging out with friends getting a beer, that feeling of being away makes me want to come back. And I have all these ideas and I have that inspiration just kicks in. Just being outside, fresh air is what inspires me. The sound is a mixture of like my love for records. I got a few shelves here that are filled with records of like jazz, soul, a lot of prog rock. I'm obsessed with synthesizers. I love like that synthy sound, especially when it's done in a very soulful way, or very like chaotic but very melodic. Like I love that stuff. So I feel like my sound is like a fusion of that, of like progressive rock with jazz, with the classic hip hop, with the sampling. It could be I usually get beat ideas randomly. When I try to make a beat, I make shitty beats. When I don't try to make a beat, I make the best shit ever. It makes no sense. Especially with producers, a lot of guys will say like, "Oh yeah, my process is I do the drums and the sample, and then I do this and I do that." Like, I can't easily say that because every beat has a different story. I feel like some beats have started because I sampled something by accident, or I stumbled upon something on a record by accident, or I chopped it up in a weird way that actually ended up working. I played a chord by accident, like just happy mistakes. So I feel like there is no process. I guess my process is to have no process. Yeah. To literally just be comfortable in your chair when you're making music and be in that moment. I usually put the blame on the fact that I'm not musically trained. I can't read music. I don't know how to write music. I don't know how to professionally play the piano, I guess. I almost play by ear, so it takes a lot of like trial and error. So when I hit like that peak of like, damn, I played every chord possible that I know, I don't know what to do next. I'm not finding any samples that are like inspiring any beats. For whatever reason, nothing's sounding good. The only remedy that I've found that works is stepping out of the studio or wherever I'm at and interacting with homies, with friends. Go getting a beer, getting food, just kind of resetting your mind a little bit. So you can come back to it with like fresh ears, fresh eyes, and I feel like you're able to find the solution after you come back. I feel like the best experiences have been happening this past year, because the past 28 years from when, you know, being born, finding music, finding design and art, and working up till now is when things started to really happen. You know, my work is starting to reach those levels that I've been pushing for them to reach, and finally getting that exposure that I've been, you know, thirsty for. The highlight so far is getting one of my original compositions that I made to get placed with Quentin Miller, which is a ghostwriter for Drake. I think seeing that, being able to see that something that I made in my bedroom in Milwaukee reached that level just blew my mind. You know, it showed me that it's possible, you know, with hard work and being consistent and being patient, like literally sky's the limit. I have this story that I play in my head a lot of like, I want to be that go-to guy for illustration design, but that can also hand you like a folder of some bangers, you know, some beats, and be able to produce an album or produce some music for you.